Are we licking the bottle of honey from outside rather than actually tasting honey? So we'll discuss this from one pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 23rd chapter. So basically the essence of these discussions will be external knowledge is not as important as a simple heartfelt offering to the Lord. Sometimes we get distracted by the externals that we forget that the essence of Bhakti Yoga is to be able to offer our hearts to the Lord. So this is the 23rd chapter of 10th canto, the very beautiful pastime. So Krishna and his covered boyfriends, they are enjoying in the forest of Vrindavan. They're having a great time. They're playing, they are having fun. So Krishna tells his friends, please go and ask from the Brahmanas who are performing yajna nearby. Ask them for food, because the context is these boys are telling Krishna that they are very hungry. Now, when Krishna would kill demons, like let's say Krishna comes in front of you and kills a huge demon, you would be impressed. You would say, wow, you must be God. Right? That's what we would say, wow. But when Krishna's friends would see Krishna killing a demon, they wouldn't get impressed. They would say, so what's the big deal? If you are really God, then you should kill another demon, which is hunger, which is attacking us right now. So they are not impressed by Krishna's Herculean tasks. So there's a beautiful way this chapter begins. Shri Gopa Uchuhu, the boys are asking Krishna. Maybe you can repeat these verses after me. Simple. That way you will also touch Krishna in the form of his holy name. Sound vibration. Rama Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dushta Nibharana Eshavai Badate Kshunnas Tashantim Kartum Arhata. So the boys are telling Rama Rama Mahaba, oh Balram, Krishna, Dushta Nivarana, oh Krishna, both of you are so strong. Both of you can kill so many demons, you are so expert. But what is the use? If you are really powerful, then you should kill this demon of hunger who has attacked us. Eshavai Badate Kshunnas, we are feeling very hungry. Tatshantim, please pacify our hunger. So you are great, Krishna, then kill our hunger. They are ordering Krishna. It's interesting. We don't order God, right? We are supposed to take orders from God. But Krishna loves this role. He loves to be controlled by his devotees. In fact, the 10th canto describes the 12th chapter. Of course, we are in the 23rd chapter now. But the 11th and 12th chapter describes how Krishna would be ordered by his friends and how Krishna would please them. Mushnanto, okay, this verse also, please repeat. Mushnanto nonya shikhyadin Gyatam aracha chikshipu Tatratascha punah durad Dashantascha punadadu. So how this is a typical day in Vrindavan. What would happen? So somebody would steal the lunch box of one of Krishna's friends. And then this boy would look for his lunch box. Oh, my mother had packed lunch for me. Where is this? As he would keep looking for it, you would see it is missing. And then you would see one of the other boys have the lunch box. He would go to him, hey, this is my lunch box. And what would that boy do? Mushnanto nonya shikyadin. You would throw it away to another boy. The boy would realize, Gyatam aracha chikshipu. Oh, my lunch box was stolen. It was with him. Now he has given this lunch box to him. But then he would go to this boy. And what would this boy do? Tatratyascha punah durat. You would throw it off to another place, to another boy. And finally, this boy would start crying. Oh, my lunchbox is gone. And when he would start crying, the boys would give back the lunchbox to him. And when they would give back the lunchbox to him, he would start laughing. And when he would start laughing, everyone would start laughing. Dashantascha punah dadu. This is the way these boys would have fun every day. For this is how Krishna and his friends would enjoy every day, where Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he would be treated like an ordinary boy. In fact, at home, Krishna would not reveal he is the Supreme Lord. No, remember, Krishna lifted the Govardhan mountain. But at home, when his father would come, now his father is to take lunch. So there is an asan, it is put in the Vedic homes. They would put a small pitha for eating prasad. So Krishna would try to lift that and he would not be able to lift. Remember, it's the same Krishna who lifted the Govardhan. So his father would come home from the pasturing grounds. So then Krishna would carry his father's footwear on his head and run. Bibarte kvachit agyapta pita konmana padukam baukshepam cha kurute swanam cha pritimavahan. This is such a beautiful verse. This describes Krishna, what he would do at home. He would try to lift the asan and he would not be able to lift. And then what he would do? He would feel, no, I should be able to lift it. Today I am not able to lift it. Tomorrow I will lift it. So he would start bahuk shepam cha kurute. He would start slapping his arms. Okay, I'll become strong. And then I will lift it. And when he would do this, all his family members, Pritim, what would happen to them? Swanam cha pritimavahan. Their happiness, their love for Krishna would expand. They would see, oh, our Krishna is so sweet. So his childish activities are amazing. So Krishna, by his childish activities, he would charm the heart of residents of Vrindavan. So this is what is happening in Vrindavan. So I'm just giving you a context of what is happening. Before we dive into the pastime, this context is important. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami says that what you are experiencing in Vrindavan is something very special. We want to get attached to this Krishna, who is always playing with his friends, who is controlled by the love of his devotees. Yat padapam sur bahujanma krichrato dhritatma biryogi birapalabhyaha saeva yadrug vishaya swayam stita kim varnyate dishtamato vrajau kasam. Shukdev Goswami says, you know, who is the person you are approaching now? Yat padapam sur bahujanma krichrato. After many, many lifetimes of devotional service, a person you cannot approach, that person in Vrindavan is so easily accessible. Dhritatma biryogi birapya labhya. There are yogis who do a lot of tapasya and they don't get access to this person. That is Krishna. So that person who is inaccessible to the whole creation, that person, what is he doing? Saeva yadrug vishaya swayam stita. He is standing in front of these boys. The same person who is inaccessible to great yogis, he is playing with ordinary cowherd boyfriends. So he is saying, Shukdev Goswami says, Kim varnyate dishtamato vrajau kasam. Oh, what can I describe the great fortune of the boys of Vrindavan? The Supreme Lord, who is inaccessible to the great yogis, is playing like an ordinary boy with his friends in the pasturing grounds of Vrindavan. And he is being ordered by his friends. So you may wonder, why is God doing this? Have you ever wondered why Krishna does this? Playing with his friends, enjoying like this. Anybody knows why Krishna would do this? Why is he playing with his boyfriends like this, like an ordinary boy, herding cows, throwing lunch boxes, wrestling with them. Why would Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, do such a childish activity? Any answers? Anything? Who is answering? Yes, Prabhu. To enjoy and to give pleasure to his friends. Very good answer. Anything else? You are right. I'm just wanting to know more perspectives. Yes. Krishna loves them, so he is giving them a lot of importance. That is also correct. Yes. He also wanted to experience the pleasure of being ordered by his friends. Yes, that is also correct. All the three answers are correct. Anything else? Any other perspective? Why Krishna is doing this? Yes. When we see this, we will get attracted to Krishna. That is also right. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu.
He's covered by Yoga Maya.
Yes, Krishna is covered. Because sometimes people say, does Krishna know he is God? See, if Krishna knows he is God, then that pastime will be drama. It will not be real. If you say Krishna doesn't know he is God, that means he is an ordinary person. So therefore there is something called Yoga Maya, which is Krishna's divine potency, which covers Krishna, which is Krishna's own internal potency. Krishna by his own violation allows himself to be covered. See, Krishna has this amazing contradiction. Krishna is Sarvagya, he knows everything. And Krishna is simultaneously Mugdha. Mugdha means he is bewildered, he is confused, he is covered. Krishna is simultaneously all-knowing and is also not knowing, Mugdha. Why is Sarvagya? How he knows everything? He knows everything because he is there in your heart as Paramatma, as a super soul. Krishna can see, Krishna can know what is happening. He knows all the desires of all the living entities because he is Sarvagya. But same Krishna doesn't know that his mother is hiding behind the pillar to catch him. So Krishna is also Mugdha. He is also confused. He is also bewildered. So Srila Jiva Goswami gives a beautiful example of how to understand Krishna is covered. He says, a beautiful example. He says, there is a bumblebee which goes to the flowers to take nectar. Okay? There's a lot of nectar in the lotus flower. So the bumblebee goes there, it takes the nectar. When it takes the nectar, it starts enjoying so much nectar from that lotus flower that when the lotus petals close, the bumblebee can easily penetrate that petal because the bumblebee is very strong. You know that? Daru Beda Nipunopi Shadangrir Nishkriya Bhavati Pankaja Koshe. The bumblebee has so much power that it can penetrate even Daru. Daru means what? Wood. Good. I thought you'll think something else. Indians, when they hear Daru, they think something else. Daru Bhedah Nipunopi. So Daru, it can penetrate wood. But look at its weakness. Shadangrir, this bumblebee, Nishkriya Bhavati Pankaja Koshe. When the lotus petals close, this bumblebee is not able to penetrate the soft petals of a lotus. Isn't this a contradiction? Something can penetrate wood, gets trapped by lotus petal. Why? Because the bumblebee sees there is so much nectar here that in that nectar the bumblebee gets drowned. And when the lotus petals close, the bumblebee allows itself to be covered by the petals because it is enjoying so much nectar in those petals. Do you get this? Similarly, Krishna is like the bumblebee. Krishna enters the heart of his pure devotees. And he sees there is so much nectar there. They love me so much. Krishna says, oh, these devotees love me so much. He feels so grateful. He feels so happy that they love me so much. He starts enjoying that nectar from their heart. And as he's enjoying that nectar, the knowledge which he has about himself, of Sarvagya, that knowledge gets covered because he's busy enjoying the nectar. And his own opulences and knowledge gets covered because of the love that he's experiencing in the heart of his devotees. That's how the all-knowing Supreme Lord Sarvagya becomes, what are the two qualities we discussed? Mugdha. Sarvagya becomes Mugdha. So Shukdev Goswami explains, why does Krishna allow or do these kind of things? Because of two reasons. Krishna wants the whole world to know two things. And that's why he plays with his friends like an ordinary child. What are these two things? Please repeat. Darshayam stad vidam loka Atmano britya vashyatam Vrajasyo vahavai harsham Bhagavan balacheshtite. The Lord is giving darshan like this to the whole world because darshayam stadvidam loka, because he wants you to know, first thing, Atmano britya vashyatam. I am controlled by my devotees. Please know. The whole world, please know I am announcing. Krishna is saying like this. Please know, all of you, I am controlled by my devotees. And then Krishna, the second reason is, Krishna says, okay, whether you know that I am controlled by my devotees or not, that's, I don't care. The real reason why I do that is, Vrajasyo vahavai harsham, to make the Brajvasis happy, to give them joy, I perform these pastimes. Bhagavan balacheshtitai, Krishna becomes like an ordinary child, so that the Brajvasis become very happy, just for their happiness. So this is the background of the pastime that we are discussing. Krishna is enjoying with his friends. What has happened just now? What are the friends told Krishna? That they are hungry, they want prasad, they want food. So Krishna tells them, okay, go to these Brahmanas nearby. They are performing sacrifices. Go and tell them that please give prasad for Krishna and Balram. But you ask food in the name of Balram first, because Balram is a Kshatriya, so they may give in the name of Balram. Actually, Krishna knew that these Brahmanas were proud. And he is right now already hinting that what their response is going to be. Krishna knows that they will not give. So he tells the boys, go there. So the boys go there. And when the boys go and ask food from these Brahmanas, what do these Brahmanas do? They keep quiet. They don't say anything. They don't give prasad. They don't refuse. They don't talk. They ignore these boys. See, ignorance is horrible. Either you tell someone, I like you, or take this, or you don't. You tell them, I don't want to give you. You shout at them. See, when you are angry with someone or you talk to someone, at least you are acknowledging their presence. But when you ignore, it's a very, very big insult. So Shukdev Goswami is narrating this pastime to Parishit Maharaj. And he says, oh Parishit Maharaj, you please don't get angry. Because Parishit Maharaj is a lover of Krishna. So Parishit Maharaj is hearing this pastime. He may get agitated hearing that these Brahmanas are not serving Krishna and Balram. They are so proud. So Krishna and Balram, they are not giving prasad to Krishna and Balram. So Parishit Maharaj may get upset. So Shukdev Goswami says, please don't get angry. I know if you were there, you would have punished these Brahmanas. But please don't get angry. Because in the end, this pastime is going to have a very sweet ending. So right now the Brahmanas just ignore the boys. And the boys are feeling very bad that we came on behalf of Krishna and Balram. We are asking for food. They're not giving us anything. So they come back and they tell Krishna, we did not get prasad. So the Shukdev Goswami explains very beautifully what is the psychology of these Brahmanas. Iti te bhagavat yachnam shrinvatopi na shushrushu kshudrasha bhuri karmano balisha vruddhamanina. Please understand this. The boys are asking on behalf of the Supreme Lord. Iti te bhagavat yachnam. On behalf of the Lord they are asking. But what are these Brahmanas doing? Shrinvatopi na shushrushu. They are hearing, but they are not hearing. They heard the appeal, but it makes no difference to them. Why? Because their hearts are petty, weak. They are interested in cheap things. Kshudrasha, bhuri, karmano. They are only interested in ritualistic activities. Balisha, vruddhamanina. They are actually childish. Actually, children have come to them. Look at the poetic way Shukdev Goswami is saying. Children have come to him, but they are child. They are childish. Balisha, but vruddhamanina. They think we are very senior. We are big Brahmanas. We are very educated. So this is the inner resistance I was talking about day before yesterday. That they have inner resistance. They hear about Krishna's glories, but they do not offer anything to Krishna. They know Krishna is the Lord. Shrinvatopi na shushrushu. They have been hearing for a long time, but they don't surrender to Krishna. We keep hearing about Krishna every day in our Bhagavatam classes, but we don't surrender to Krishna. Pashyan apina pashyati. They see that everybody is suffering in material world, but they don't understand the importance of spiritual life. Pashyan apina pashyati. Second canto, Shukdev Goswami says. And now he's saying, Shrinvatopi na shushrushu. Hearing, but not hearing. Seeing, but not seeing. This is our situation. They were so near Krishna, but they missed Krishna. They had an opportunity to give Krishna, but they did not give Krishna. This is the tragedy. Therefore, our tragedy is also same. We are very close to Krishna. We are coming to temple every day. We hear so much. Durlabha manava janma lobiya samsare Krishna na bhajino dukha kahibo kahare. Bhaktivinoda Thakur very beautifully sings. He says, this human form of life is so rare. Durlabha manava janma. And in this world we have got human form of life. Lobiya samsare. But look at the tragedy. Krishna na bhajino dukha. I'm not worshipping Krishna. I'm not coming to Krishna. What a tragedy this is. And what am I doing instead? Instead of coming to Krishna, what am I doing? Samsara samsara kori miche gela kal. Labna kahilo kichu gatilo janjal. He says, I'm only doing samsara, which means, earning money, managing house, only my personal life. I have nothing to do with spiritual life. Samsara kori, and my time is going like this. Miche gela kal. And what are the benefits I'm getting? Labna kahilo kichu, no labh. And instead, what am I getting? Ghatilo janjal. I'm getting entangled in material life more and more. I'm getting into a mess. This is our situation because we are ignoring Krishna. And these Brahmanas are great Pandits, great scholars, and they are missing Krishna. So they come back very disappointed. Oh Krishna, oh Balram, these Brahmanas ignored us. We did not get any prasad. And what is Krishna's response? Anybody knows? How did Krishna respond when the boys came back? They failed to get prasad. Krishna laughed. Krishna said, no problem. This is the nature of begging. When we beg, sometimes we get, sometimes we don't get. Krishna doesn't take it seriously. Krishna says, but now, again you go. But this time, don't go to the Brahmanas. Where should you go? To the wives of the Brahmanas who are behind the yajna sthali, they are preparing and assisting their husbands in this yajna performance. Go and meet them and tell them that we are hungry and ask them for prasadam and see what happens. Now these Brahmana wives, they were not great scholars. They were not expert in yajna. They did not know all the technical things about yajna. They were simple women. They were simply assisting their husbands in yajna. Now the men had refused to give prasad. But look at what the women do. When the boys go and tell these women that Krishna and Balaram are hungry, please give prasad. And what do these women do? Whatever prasad they had, Chaturvidam Bahu Gunam Annam Adaya Bhajane Abhishashru Priyam Sarva Samudram Iva Nimnaga. They run to Krishna and Balaram with all the prasadam. There are 4 kinds of prasadam that they had. Not four prasadam, 4 main categories. Under each category there are many prasadam. Chaturvidam Bahugunam, and each of these prasadam had lot of variety and lot of qualities, fragrance, taste. Chaturvidam Bahugunam Annam Adaya Bhajane, in very, very big pots. They carried all this prasadam and they ran towards their most dear worshipable Krishna. Abhishashru Priyam Sarva. How did they run to Krishna? Samudram Iva Nimnaga. Just like rivers run into an ocean, they ran towards Krishna. And what are the 4 kinds of prasadam? Anybody knows? Chewed, licked, sucked and chewed, licked, sucked and swallowed. So all the prasadam was in these 4 categories. Can you think of examples? I don't know. You'll have to think. What is chewed, what is licked, what is sucked? I think everything will come in that. Pizza, ice cream. Everything is included within that. So then they came with all this prasadam. You may think, wow, this is a good story, happy story. Krishna and Balaram are hungry and these Matajis get prasadam for the story. No, there's a lot of twists here, a lot of turns here. We'll see. Now, when they were getting prasadam, it was not so easy. They were stopped. It was not so easy, just run with prasadam to Krishna. But they disregarded. They ran to Krishna although they were stopped. Who stopped them? They are Brahmanas, their husbands. See, look at our good fortune, all of us here. We have a fortune. We can practice Krishna consciousness. I'll tell you some of the children in Mumbai. See, I'm doing a youth program in Mumbai now. So youth means an age group of 15 to 25. There is this group of young boys and girls who come for my class every week. And some of the stories, how they practice bhakti in the challenging situations, it's so heart-wrenching. And here I see, you can run to Krishna and you have full support. There, like there are 2 girls who come for my class. They are from Jain background. You know Jain? They are very strict. So these 2 girls, they are so sincere and they want to chant 16 rounds every day. But their parents don't allow because they think Krishna is not a god. They give very bad, they consider Krishna as somebody in hell and like that. They offend Krishna very much. But these girls are attracted to Krishna, just like these Brahmana wives. They are also stopped. But what they did, they took admission in a college which is just 2 minutes from our temple. So every day they have to come this side. So before going to college, they come to temple. And you know what they do at home? They keep the bead bag in the bed, and when they put the blanket and they're sleeping, inside the blanket they chant. Under the quilt, like nobody can see. And when they go for like family vacation or holiday, so their parents are with them, so they can't be seen. So they midnight, around 1 o'clock, they get up and nobody is watching. They chant their rounds. So intense. Every day they have been chanting 16 rounds. So sometimes If you think, oh, I have no problems, I can come to temple, Krishna will test you in some other way. Everybody will have to go through this, what these women have gone through. They were stopped. But our good fortune, we may be like the Brahmanas. We may miss Krishna, although we have complete chance to serve Krishna. But if we really love Krishna, then we'll face challenges also. We'll face somebody stopping us. Something will stop. Therefore, one Vaishnava Acharya sings very beautifully that, my dear Krishna, my only hope is I want to please you. Jagat karana tumi, jagat jivana, tom chhada koro nai, he Radharaman. He says, my dear Lord, you are the cause of the whole universe, you are the Supreme Lord. And if I give you up, like these Brahmanas did, they ignored you. Tom chhada koro nahi, ye Radharaman. If I give you up, I have no hope. This is unfortunate. We don't want to give up on Krishna. But there is something interesting. We can't give up Krishna. We have no hope if we give up Krishna. But imagine what if Krishna gives us up. Bhuvana mangala tumi, bhuvanera pati, tumi upakhile natha, ki hoi begati. He says, you are the Supreme Lord of the whole creation, my dear Lord. If you ignore us, see, the Brahmanas ignored Krishna, but it did not make any difference to Krishna. So this bhajan, this Vaishnava is saying, Tumi upakhile natha, kiyoi be gati. If we ignore you, you have no loss. But if you ignore us, imagine Brahmanas ignored Krishna, Krishna and Balram's friends. Krishna doesn't get affected, but imagine Krishna ignores us. What will happen? You come to Krishna praying, Krishna, please help me, and Krishna ignores you. So he's saying this will be disastrous, but my hope is I know Krishna, you will never ignore us. Krishna will never ignore us. So therefore, this pastime is our inspiration, where Krishna is sending these boys to the right kind of persons, that is these Brahmana wives, and they were stopped. Who stopped them? Nishidhyamana patibir. Can you repeat this verse? Dhyamana patibir, bratabir bandubir suter, Bhagavati uttama shloke, dirgha shruta dhritashaya. Who stopped them? Patibir, their husband stopped them. Bratabir, their brothers stopped them. Bandubir, their relatives stopped them. Suter, their children stopped them. All of them stopped these women from going to Krishna. But what did they do? Bhagavati uttama shloke. They went running towards Krishna. Why? Dirgha shruta dhritashaya. They had been hearing about Krishna for a long time, and their heart was completely attached to Krishna. Look at the contrast. Just a few verses before we read, the Brahmanas heard, but they did not hear. Shrinvatopi na shushrushu. They heard, but they did not hear. Whereas these Matajis, they heard and they acted on it. So who are we? Are we like the Brahmanas who hear so much but don't act? Or are we like the Brahmana wives who hear for a long time and who surrender to Krishna when the challenge comes? So they made a choice. The women made a choice. They chose Krishna. And what did the Brahmanas do? They chose their rituals, their empty puja. They had lot of knowledge. They did lot of rituals. But there was no Krishna there. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his bhajan says that we may have lot of knowledge about Krishna. We may become expert pandits in scriptures. But it is useless if we don't offer our heart to Krishna. Jnana karma thaga dui, more pratariya loi, avasheshe phele sindhu jale, avasheshe phele sindhu jale. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that there are two dacoits who have attacked me. Who are these dacoits? Jnana, karma, thaga, dui. Jnana, speculative knowledge. And karma, ritualistic performances of yajnas. So we may learn lot of scriptures and speculate. And we may perform lot of yajna. Jnana, karma, who are they? Thaga. Thaga matlab dacoits. They are thieves, these two. And what do? They bind me up. Jnana, karma, thaga, dui. And then they bind me. More pratariyalo. And then they throw me into an ocean of suffering. So if we don't have devotion for Krishna and we simply learn knowledge, and we do elaborate yajnas, then we have been trapped by two dacoits called Jnana and Karma. And what do these dacoits do? Avasheshe pele sindhu jale. Avasheshe pele sindhu jale. They throw us into an ocean of suffering. So my dear friends, our life will be only filled with suffering if there is only knowledge and fruitive activities without bhakti. So therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, "Oh Krishna, I want devotion like these simple Brahmana wives. I don't want simply knowledge. I want you. He no samaye bandhu, tumi Krishna kripa sindhu, kripa karo loho more bale, kripa karo loho more bale." He's saying, look at the graphic way he describes. He says, okay, at this time I'm drowning in this ocean. Imagine somebody is drowning. And what will happen? How can you save yourself if you are drowning in an ocean, middle of the ocean? What can save you? How can you be saved if you are drowning in the middle of an ocean? Huh? Waves. Waves will save you. Huh? Someone has to pull you out. So he is saying, at this time when I am drowning, He no samaye bandhu tumi Krishna kripa sindhu. Krishna, you can pull me out of this ocean because you are also an ocean in yourself. This is ocean of suffering where I am, but you are ocean of kripa. You are ocean of mercy. You are kripa sindhu. I am in suffering sindhu. I am in the ocean of suffering. But you are ocean of mercy. So what you should do, Krishna, please, tumi kripa sindhu, kripa kori loho more bale. Pick me up from this ocean and throw me into your ocean. Pick me up from the ocean of suffering and put me in the ocean of your mercy. This is our prayer. We don't want to become like these great Brahmanas, learned scholars who know all the scriptures, everything, and attached to doing all the rituals. But where is Krishna? Krishna is missing. Everything we know, but Krishna is not there. What is the use? So therefore, what these wives did is exemplary. These Brahmana wives ran to Krishna, although they were stopped. They disregarded all obstacles and they ran to Krishna, full speed. And when they came running to Krishna, what did they see? Anybody knows? They came with all the pots of prasad. Krishna, Balram are hungry. Let us go. So when they brought and they saw, what did they see? Anybody knows? This amazing sight. What they saw is described in Bhagavatam extremely beautifully. Shamam hiranya paridim vanamalya barha Datu pravala nataveshamanu vratamse Vinyasta hasta itarena dhunanam abjam Karnot palalaka kapola mukhabjahasam. So when they came, this is what they saw. Shamam, Krishna's complexion is like a fresh monsoon cloud. And he's worn dazzling yellowish garments. Shamam hiranya paridim vanamalya barha. He has a beautiful garland of forest flowers and he has a beautiful peacock feather on his hair. And on top of that, Krishna's face is decorated with minerals, dust of Vrindavan. Dhatu pravala natavesha manuvratam se. See, generally, if you go out and play, if your children play, and their face gets dirty with mud, dust, what do you do when you come home? You wash your face, you take bath. This dust is actually making us dirty. We become unclean. But Krishna's beauty becomes more when he is filled with the dust of Vrindavan. And then he's dancing, he's standing like an expert actor. Dhatu pravala natave shamanu vratam. He's like an expert dancing actor, he's standing. And what is Krishna? No, this is very, very important. What is Krishna doing? One hand he has put on the shoulder of his friend. Vinyasta hastaitarena dunanam abjam. With the other hand, Krishna is very dexterously twirling a lotus flower with his fingers. He is twirling it and has put his hand on the shoulder of his friend. And Krishna is standing smiling and he has something on his ears. Karunot palalaka kapola mukhabjahasam. He has lily flowers tucked on his ears. I don't know if you have that for Neel Madhav. Yes, you have some big flowers on Neel Madhav's hair. So when we dress Gopinath in Chopati, we tie turban and sometimes we put flowers here. Karunot palalaka, the lily flowers. So this is the way Krishna, and Mukhabjaha, an enchanting smile. Krishna, an enchanting smile. This is the way Krishna is standing in front of these women when they come. This is the first darshan they get of Krishna. You've gone to Vrindavan, seen Krishna Balaram temple, you've seen Krishna Balaram deities, how they are standing. This is the first time they are seeing Krishna and Balaram. This is how they see. And what is important here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, Krishna is twirling a lotus flower because he is telling them, my dear women, you have come to me, I am twirling your heart, which is also like a lotus flower. I am playing with it because there is a lot of churning of emotions happening. It's not easy to leave everything and come running to Krishna. And they have done that. So they are feeling intense emotional churning. So Krishna is twirling their heart with the emotions. And then Krishna is saying, actually, my heart is also getting twirled like this lotus flower. I am also feeling a lot of emotions for you. This is what happens in Krishna consciousness. Prabhus, Matajis, boys, girls, please know, it's not simply happy, hanky-dory. No, there is going to be a lot of churning in the heart. And Krishna loves to play and do that. Like one of my very, very close friends, please, I'm just hoping this example will somewhere inspire you. When he was 17 years old, he came to Vraja Bihari temple in Juhu, took darshan of Vraja Bihari, Krishna. He came to know what is ISKCON. He saw Krishna's beautiful form in the deity form. And next year, he went blind. He actually went blind. Some complicated disease connected to the veins and the brain. And from the age of 17, he has gone blind. And the last darshan he had of Krishna was Vraja Bihari temple. And then after that, he was introduced to Krishna consciousness by our devotees. And he came to Radha Gopinath temple. Last 20-25 years, he is coming to our temple. But he's never seen Radha Gopinath. Because he can't see. But Radha Gopinath is seeing him every time he comes. He comes for japa in the morning. He chants. He travels a long distance. He's got a good job in a multinational company. But he is blind. And he can't see Krishna. I sometimes, because he's my close friend, I tell him, what is your last impression of Krishna? When did you, because he had eyes, he had proper vision like you and me. It's not that he was born blind. Please know, there is a difference between being born blind and actually becoming blind. So he has seen the world. He has seen the beauty. He has seen Krishna's beautiful form. And then at the age of 17, he goes blind. And then he comes to Krishna consciousness. And he's never seen Radha Gopinath. So I asked him, what do you think Radha Gopinath is like? Then he describes to me Vraja Bihari temple because he's been there. That's the last thing he has seen. But he may not be able to see Krishna. But two things are happening. Krishna is seeing him. And secondly, he is seeing Krishna with internal eyes, not with these eyes. And the proof is, he has memorized, these verses, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Anybody know of these verses? Agre Kuruna Mata Pandavanam Dushyasanena Ritavastra Kesha Krishna Tadakroshadhananyanatha Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. There are 71 verses like this, which describe Krishna as Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. So he has memorized all the 71 verses. And when he describes Krishna's beauty, you will be stunned. He's a grahastha, he has a lot of responsibilities, he has 2 children, but he has memorized all these verses with all his challenges. And when he describes Krishna's personal beauty, it's as if he's seeing Krishna better than you and me. And I am amazed. Whenever I meet him, I tell him, describe Krishna's beauty. He's able to see something which I'm not able to see. Although I have eyes. And he's externally blind. So seeing Krishna, so there is a lot of churning which has happened in his heart. So he describes to me how when he was 18, 19, when he went blind, how helpless he became and all of that. It's intense, Prabhus. We have taken our 2 eyes for granted, right? We don't know what it is like to not have this vision. But he is very sharp, very intelligent, but he cannot see. But he is seeing Krishna and Krishna is seeing him. So the point I'm saying is when we choose Krishna, our whole world changes and a lot of churning happens. And so we have to choose Krishna. Like the Brahmanas, right? Right? No. Like the wives of the Brahmanas. I'm testing you to see if you are alert and awake. For us, the challenge is we don't choose Krishna because we are attracted by the razzle-dazzle, the glamour of this world. Kishera samsaraye chaya baji pray Yate mamata kori brita din jai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur have written this bhajan 150 years ago. In 1860s, 70s, they've written this when there were no movies. There was no Bollywood, Hollywood. And he says, what is my life? He says, my life is like Chaya Baji Pray. So in Bengal, in 1870s, what was the entertainment? Like now, if you want entertainment, you take out your smartphone and watch Netflix. During those days, all the people would gather in the village and they would put a big white cloth tied to 2 trees or something. And behind the white cloth, they would have a lantern light lit up with kerosene oil. And through the reflection of that light, they would make images which would be flashed on the screen. And those images people would watch, and that was their entertainment. That was called Chaya Baji Pray, shadow on the cloth. That was the movies of 1870s and 80s. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, what is my life? Kishera samsaraye chaya baji pray. My life is simply some light flashing on the screen. It's illusion. And I am putting so much affection for this illusion. Yate mamata kori brita din jai. My day is all going waste. And I'm not able to realize that my body is going to be finished. He deha pata na hoile ki rabe amar. Keo sukha nahi dibe putra parivar. My children, my family won't give me any happiness because this body itself is going to go away. Nobody is going to give me any happiness. I was telling someone recently that you are attached to your children not because they need you, because you need them to need you. As we get older, our attachments give us a lot of suffering. This is the nature of this world. And these women who ran to Krishna with prasadam, they may not know all the shlokas that their husbands knew. They may not have all the knowledge of the Vedas. But they followed one simple principle. When there is a choice of Maya, choice of Krishna, they chose Krishna. This is very, very important. They came with prasadam. Krishna was very happy. Krishna said, "Oh ladies, thank you for coming and giving this prasadam. Please welcome, welcome. Please sit down." He makes them sit. And he talks to them. And after that, he says, "Okay, now go back home." What do? They refuse to go back home. They say, "No, Krishna, now we will be with you only." Krishna says, "No, you are wives of Brahmanas. No, we will be your maid servants." "No, I am a Vaishya. I am mercantile class. You are Brahmanas. Brahmanas don't become servants of Vaishyas. So this is not a proper service for you. Please go back. Your husbands need you. They are performing yajna." So these Matajis say, No, they don't need us. They have rejected us. Now they won't accept us when we go back. So let us remain as your maid servants. Krishna, we heard a lot about you from the betel nut sellers, from the different traders who came to our village. So we have heard about you for a long time, and now we are seeing you. And now we realize you are so beautiful. See, this is the difference between seeing Krishna and seeing the beauty of this world. In this world, something is promised to you. This is wonderful. This is beautiful. This is ecstatic. And when you actually experience it, is it the same as what you thought it would be, or is it less? It is less. But Krishna, what is promised to you about how much happiness Krishna will give you, and then what you actually experience, that is much, much more than what was promised to you. See, in this world, there is over-promise and under-deliver. They promise you a lot, but they give you very little. But in Krishna, the promise, whatever is given, but the actual thing we experience is much, much more. His Grace, Burijan Prabhu says that when we go back to Krishna, in the spiritual world, we will tell Krishna, "Krishna, you are so beautiful. Wow. When I was in the material world, I used to hear you are as beautiful as a full moon. You are as beautiful as a lotus flower. What is that beauty comparison? That is nothing. You are actually much, much more beautiful than what I had imagined." In material world, what we experience is much, much less than what we imagine. So this is the way. So the Brahmana Patnis say, "Krishna, we don't want to leave you. We want to be with you always." So then, Hare Krishna, Radha Nil Madhav Bhagwan ki jai. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maya ki jai. Narsimdev Bhagwan ki jai. Gaur Nitai ki jai. Actually, Srila Prabhupada explains how the women in general, they have kind of simplicity. When it comes to accepting the Lord's authority, Prabhupada says, simplicity of acceptance of Lord's authority is more powerful than insincere, showy, religious fervor. This is the exact sentence Prabhupada writes. When we experienced it, we had this Mahapandal program during the 1996 Prabhupada centennial year. There was Cricket World Cup going on at that time. The famous India-Pakistan cricket match. So Radhanath Swami Maharaj did not know that there is a cricket match going on. So he is giving a class, and the whole class in that Mahasatsang Pandal program, there are some thousands of women and only 1 or 2 men sitting on the men's side. And Maharaj said, "What is this?" So then one Brahmachari came and said, "Maharaj, today is a very big match, India-Pakistan World Cup match." And Maharaj said, "These women are so simple. They all have come. And their husbands are sitting and watching match." And the Maharaj went on giving class. And at some point of time in the class, the match got over. India won. And all the firecrackers, everybody came to know that, India has won. And then suddenly in 5 minutes, the pandal was filled with the men. All the men had come as if to thank Krishna, thank God that India won the match. But then Maharaj was laughing later, coming back to the temple in the car. He said, "See, these women were so simple, such an important match, but they were happy to come and hear Krishna's glories." So the simplicity is needed. So Krishna is telling these Matajis that you are Brahmana, I am Vaishya. For me, my associates are gopis. Gopis are best for me. So So then this Mataji say, okay, you don't accept as your maid servants, no problem. Let us remain in the forest. We'll remain here as forest deities. We'll just take the remnants, whatever you reject, that we will accept as Maha. And then Krishna tells them, no, my dear ladies, please go back home. Don't be afraid. Your husbands will accept you. I assure you. And finally the gopis go back because Krishna orders them. And there Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Krishna ordered gopis to go back during Ras Leela. Did the gopis go back? They refused to follow Krishna's order. And here the Brahmana wives followed Krishna's order. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, it is not that gopis have done something which is pleasing to Krishna, or the Brahmana Patnis have done something pleasing to Krishna. He says, both have pleased Krishna. Gopis pleased Krishna by disobeying him, and the Brahmana Patnis pleased Krishna by obeying him. Krishna wanted that to happen, and that's what they did. So then Krishna explains to them that it is not that you simply be with me, then you will be happy or you will experience my love. It is not in physical proximity. This is a very, very important verse. Krishna says, Shravana Darshana Dhyanan Mahi Bhavo Nukirtanat Na Tata Sannikarshena Pratiyata Tato Grahan. He says, if you want to experience my presence in your life, Shravana, Darshana, Dhyana, hear about me, take my darshan, meditate upon me, and how? Mahi Bhavo Nu Kirtana, glorify me, but all with one pointed attention and focus. Na tata sannikarshena. It is not that if you physically come in and sit with me, then you will experience love of me. It is not physical proximity. So therefore, pratiyata tato grahan. Go home, perform your household duties. It is not physical proximity. Srila Prabhupada said, sometimes a mosquito may be hovering around the deity. Does that mean the mosquito is getting a lot of mercy? The mosquito may be harassing the spiritual master, being so physically close. It is not physical proximity. I know, sometimes we may be staying in the temple and we may still miss Krishna. And the grahasthas may be staying outside, but they may be choosing Krishna. So it is not physical proximity, it is the choices we make that gives us Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. And his personal servant's name was, when he went to South India, who was there with him? Kala Krishna Das. He is with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you can imagine the physical proximity. And what did Kala Krishna Das do? He got distracted by the Bhattaharis who offered him wealth and women, and he just got completely bewildered. Stridana dekhana tanra lobha janmila arya sarala viprera buddhina shahoila. He saw these women, he saw paisa, stridana dekhana tanra lobha janmila. A lot of greed and desire arose in his heart. He was with the Supreme Lord. And such a person, and he was not a low-class man. Kala Krishna Das was not some low-class man. He was Arya Sarala Viprera Buddhina Shahoila. He was Arya. He was a very cultured person. And Sarala, he was very simple-hearted. Sometimes we think if you are simple-hearted and very cultured, you will not have problems in life. No, he was cultured. He was simple-hearted. And Viprera, he was Brahminical also. He was very clean, well-behaved. And he had problems. He was the personal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he left. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport there, if somebody is so close to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can be distracted by Maya. What to speak of you and me? Srila Prabhupada writes that. So therefore, it is important that we connect to Krishna, not external. See, externals are important because rituals help us connect with Krishna. But rituals are empty without the substance of devotion. That is the point. It doesn't matter whether you are a brahmachari, grahastha, married, unmarried, child. What is important is, can we take a step forward to Krishna? If we can do that, we are touching Krishna. Please know this. Externals don't matter. And I know somebody who's connected with Krishna in such a difficult situation. So Krishna is very close to us. You have a bead bag with you, right? I brought my bead bag also. Krishna is so close. We just have to take out a bead bag, remember Krishna, and connect with the holy name. This is a ritual of chanting, but when we invest our emotions, we connect with Krishna. I'll give you a classic example. One of my friends, very good example. He was giving an exam by which if he passed that exam, he would earn you get a big job. He was a grahastha with lot of loans, debts, and he had gone to a different city to give an exam. And he was staying up till 3 in the night. He would study the whole day, whole afternoon, evening, until 2:30, 3 in the night. He would study, sleep for 2-3 hours, then again study. And meanwhile, his family was 2,000 miles away in another city. So then one day in the night, he felt very lonely. He was gripped with anxiety that will he pass the exam? What if he fails? And now he and his wife, they have a very good relationship. They have been married for 15 years and they knew each other for 10 years before marriage. So there are 25 years of strong relationship. And they were very close friends before they got married. So everything is good in their life. And when he panicked at night at 2 o'clock, whom will he call? Because he needed support, he needed emotional shelter. So he called his wife. And she panicked because somebody calls you, your husband calls you at 2 in the night. Means there could be some trouble. So she picked up the phone and then her husband began to tell her how she's feeling a lot of anxiety. What if he doesn't clear the exam? What happens? And then she consoled him. And they spoke for 1 hour. And then he felt relief. He felt a little solace because she gave him that support. But, a very big but, as they were about to hang up, she told her husband that, Prabhu, we could have spoken all of this in the morning, no? After the children have gone to school. You know how difficult it is the morning time. Now I won't get rest. So then he was totally shaken by that. Now then he comes to me next day and he says, Prabhuji, my wife is right. She has so much to do at home and she was very kind to me. She gave me a lot of time, but that last 1 minute what she said disappointed me so much that somewhere I felt I didn't get that unconditional love what I was looking for. There was something which did not satisfy, because of which I am not completely satisfied. He's not saying she's wrong. Please understand. He's empathizing with her. He's saying she's right. I could have called in the daytime because she has to manage the house. She has to pack lunch for the kids. She has to do everything at home. And when will she get rest? And I ruined her rest by talking to her for 1 hour. I am agreeing with her. But Prabhuji, I was in so much distress. I needed that reassurance. She gave me that reassurance. But last minute, just before hanging up, she said that one sentence which has spoiled my consciousness completely. I'm so disappointed, Prabhuji. He said that. So I said, Prabhu, instead of calling your wife, if you had called Krishna, you would not have been disappointed. I said, you pick up your bead bag even at 2 o'clock in the night. This is calling Krishna. You pick up the bead bag and you call Krishna. What is Krishna's number? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And if you are present, that means your network is on. You're able to connect to Krishna. Then Krishna will not say, what is this? You're waking me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Krishna is ready 24/7. Any time you can call him. Krishna is always available for you. And then he liked it. He said, Prabhuji, I'll try it next time when I feel lonely. So I don't know if he tried it. But the point I'm saying is, we have a choice. If you choose love of this world, even if you get that love, something will remain incomplete, Prabhus. Something will make you inadequate. It cannot give you complete happiness. Only Krishna can give us that complete happiness. And the more choices we make, the more we choose Krishna, then what will happen? When we cannot choose Krishna, Krishna will help us. I'll repeat. The more we choose Krishna now, later when we are weak and we cannot choose Krishna, Krishna will help us. I'll tell you a recent story. Today morning, since morning, many devotees are disturbed because of this plane crash which happened in India. So I was remembering just 3 weeks ago, one of my very close friends his wife and son were flying from Amsterdam to Mumbai in KLM Airlines. And same thing happened with their plane. One of the engines broke, malfunction, and they were just 15 minutes off from Amsterdam coming to Mumbai. And the pilot announced it's going to be an emergency landing. And they were discharging all the fuel because you cannot land with that much of fuel. So then all the technical things I don't remember, but the plane was hovering around the airport on the ocean. And finally it came to land. And the pilot was very nonchalantly, matter-of-factly telling them, he just did not say Mayday, but he said everything else. As if, he even said, you can offer your prayers, call your loved ones. We don't know what will happen. I'll try my best to salvage. This is what the pilot and the co-pilot, very matter-of-factly, and everybody in the plane was crying, screaming. But this Prabhu, my friend, they are not initiated devotees, but because they're sincerely attending classes, they're sincerely chanting every day, they come for yatra, they're associating with devotees. You know what happened? Initially, both the Mataji and the son started crying, and the Prabhu took charge. He told both of them, this is a time for us, this is a test. We have to remember Krishna. Then this lasted for 25 minutes. After the initial 5 minutes of bewilderment, then all three of them held each other's hand. And then they started doing full Vrindavan Parikrama, Mayapur Parikrama, Navadvip Dham. They started chanting Hare Krishna. They remembered all the devotees with gratitude, their family with gratitude. Fully Krishna conscious. And meanwhile, everybody else was crying, screaming, making calls, doing whatnot. But these three were just absorbed in Krishna. And people noticed these three people are different. And finally, when the plane made that emergency landing, the whole airport was filled with some 25 fire ambulances and 25, ambulances, all that, fire brigades, so much of anxiety was there, which was palpable. And the plane landed also with lot of shaking, turning, and almost the plane crashed. They had a close shave. All the, I think 250 passengers, all of them had a close shave. Now when the plane landed safely, all the passengers went to the other extreme. They started screaming and clapping. And then they saw these three people, when they were crying also they were cool. They were remembering Krishna. Now when they landed safely also, these three were not celebrating. They were again thanking Krishna. They had tears in their eyes. They were only remembering Krishna. And then, now the airline company, what they do? Because they gave a terrifying experience to their passengers. So now to make up, now in the airport, because they came back, they were all given 5-star accommodation. Next day they were sent by another flight. So now the airline company has to make up, right? They have to make, so they give a lot of facilities. They made a big party arrangement. And again, these three were quiet. They were completely equipoised. And almost all the other passengers came to them and asked, who are you? What are you? How are you like this? Because devotees during this test, they passed this test with flying colors. Because they had been choosing Krishna all the time when it mattered the most, the time of death. They were peaceful. Because this is a harsh reality of this material world. Death can come at any time. The more we prepare, the more we choose Krishna, then Krishna will protect us when it matters the most. But this is what happened with these women. They came to Krishna, they made the right choice. And as Krishna promised them, when they went back, what happened? Their husbands were sorry that they had stopped the Matajis. And they apologized. They glorified their wives. And then whom did they condemn? The men condemned themselves. Dig janmanastri vradyatad. Dig vratam dig bahugyatam. Dig kulam dig kriyadaksham. Vimukaye adokshaje. So many times they use one word. Did you notice that word? Dig. Dig means to hell with. condemned. What is condemned? Dig Janma, our great birth as Brahmanas is condemnable. Dig Janmanastri Vradyadam. We have studied so much Vedas, all that is condemnable. Dig Vratam, we have taken so much austerities. Dig Bahugyatam, so much knowledge we have, it's all to hell with that knowledge. Why? Because Vimukha ye adokshaje. We turned away from Krishna. So if we turn away from Krishna, then all the big things we have done is all useless. All the knowledge, they had so much knowledge. But that knowledge is considered by themselves because they realized their wives had passed the biggest test. See, this test will always come in our lives. To choose Krishna or to choose Maya. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one bhajan, he writes very beautifully, Jada vidya jato mayara vaibhava tumara charane badha moha janmiya anitya samsare jibo ke karaye gadha. He was very beautiful. He says, this Jada vidya, when we simply study for the sake of studying, without connecting to Krishna, this is Mayara Vaibhav. This is the opulence of illusion. Jada Vidya Jato Mayara Vaibhava and Tomara Bhajane Badha. This is a great obstacle on the path of connecting to Krishna. And what more dangerous things it does is, it gives birth to illusion. Moha Janmiya Anitya samsare. To the temporary world we get attached because we are only pursuing material knowledge. And what it does to the living entity? Jibo ke karaye gadha. It makes us a donkey. Like a donkey is working hard. We are working hard without getting anything tangible. Radheshyam Prabhu says that one donkey, he was telling this story once, Radheshyam Prabhu, that one donkey was working very hard for his master, morning to night. So his friend donkey came and said, why do you work so hard for your master? Ultimately in the night you are only getting little grass. Why don't you leave your master and come to the forest? There is so much grass everywhere. Why do you have to work for him to just get little grass? For this donkey said, no, I have very good career prospects here. For this friend donkey said, what career prospects? For the other donkey said, no, I have better to work for my master even though he gives me little grass. Because few days back, I overheard my master chastising his daughter that she was not studying properly. So he was chastising her. He told her, you girl, you stupid girl, if you don't study properly, I will get you married to our donkey. So I'm having hope that I'll get married to his daughter. So what is the prospects of the donkey ever marrying that master's daughter? So Radheshyam Prabhu was giving the purport. So our hopes of material enjoyment and happiness in this world is like that donkey's hope. Jibo ke karaye gadha. And look at Bhaktivinoda Thakur's humility. He says, I am a donkey like that. Se gada hoye samsare ra bhoja bainu aneka kala. Barda kya ekhana shaktira abhave kichu nai lage bhala. He says, I am a donkey. See, this is the humility of a wonderful Vaishnava, great Vaishnava. He is actually saying so that we realize we are that donkey. Otherwise, we will not realize. He is presenting himself so vulnerable. Se gada hoye, look at me, samsarera boja, I am carrying the burden of this material world. And for a long time, bayinu aneka kala. But now what has happened? I have become an old man. Barda kya ekhana, shaktira abhave, kichu nai lage bhala. I'm not enjoying anything. I'm not at all happy. So therefore, so these Brahmanas are condemning themselves. We are so foolish. We are so unfortunate. And look at the Lord's Maya. The Brahmanas are saying, Nunam Bhagavato Maya Yoginam api mohini Yadvayam Guravo Nrunam Swarte Muya Mae Dvija. They are saying, Guravo, we are supposed to be the gurus for the human society, but look at Lord's Maya. Look at Lord's illusory potency, that even great yogis are bewildered by this illusion, and we, by the gurus, we have been bewildered. We did not realize that our real self-interest is to serve Krishna. See, now, very important point in the story. The Brahmanas are realizing that they were in Maya, and then they realize how glorious their wives are. They say, our wives, these Matajis, they did not go to any, they did not stay in any brahmachari ashram. They did not study the Vedas. They were not so scholars. But when it mattered the most, they made the right choice. And finally they say one very important verse. Aho pashyata narinam api krishne jagadguru duranta bhavam yo vidyan mrityupashan grihabidan. Look at these naris, aho pashyata narinam. They took shelter of Krishna when it mattered the most. Api Krishna Jagadguru. I was telling this family, these 3 members who survived that KLM scare, I was telling them that you were facing the sword of death. The sword of death was above your head and you chose Krishna. Many of us may not be able to do that because you always took the essence of Krishna consciousness. So when it mattered the most, Krishna helped you. See, sometimes devotees say, Prabhuji, what if I don't remember Krishna? No, we choose Krishna now, and when we can't choose Krishna, Krishna will help. Yadi vatadi doshena, that's a very beautiful verse. Yadi vatadi doshena madbhakta mamna chasmaret aham smarami madbhakta tepi anti param gatim. I will take my devotee back home, back to Godhead. When my devotee cannot remember me during death because of the imbalance of air in the body, Aham smarami madbhakta, I will remember him. But now we have to make a choice of remembering Krishna. Now this is the story. You may think after all this, wow, these Brahmanas realized their mistake. They have become devotees. Hari bol. This is the story, right? We should now clap. We should say, fantastic story, good story, ending. No, this is where there is a plot twist. A dramatic twist in the story. What happens? Anybody knows? What happens now at this point? The Brahmanas have realized that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. They realize they made a mistake. But what is the twist in the story? Huh? Yes, the last verse says they didn't go to see Krishna because they were afraid of Kamsa. So the realization, so very important point, realization does not mean transformation. There is still a choice we have to make. Realization does not automatically lead to change in life. We have to convert our realization into the right choice. So they got the realization that Krishna is Lord. They even realized that they were foolish. They even realized that their wives are great devotees. They realized everything. But still they did not choose Krishna. So this inner resistance is not easy to give up. So we may become pandits, we may become scholars, we may know everything. And we may ask all the questions. But Brahmanas are a classic case of how when somebody is fixed in external rituals and misses the essence, we may miss Krishna. We are licking the bottle of honey from outside. They were very near to Krishna, but they were not with Krishna. They were sitting on the bank of Ganga, but they did not they did not actually dive into the Ganga. And these Matajis, on the other hand, they were successful. And they offered everything to Krishna. So many of us Indians, we are attracted by mantra, tantra, mudra, yajna, all these external things we are attracted. But we miss the main thing. The gift packing is very good, but inside there is no gift. So we focus on the cover. So therefore, let us understand this is the essence. Many of us, we may lose Krishna in the crowd of rituals, in the whole Kumbh Mela, Maha Kumbh Mela of thousands and thousands of people. So much of noise, so much of activity. We may fail to hear Krishna's voice because we are hearing the noise of social media so much everywhere. Krishna we miss. So that is why I said today's and tomorrow's discussion will be on this topic. Are we missing Krishna? I'll again repeat, rituals are important because they help us connect with Krishna. But we have to remember Krishna. We have to somehow connect with Krishna. That's why Narottam Das Thakur very beautifully says, you know what is our plight? Narottam Das Thakur has echoed it most beautifully. He says, we are working very hard. All of us are working hard to become what? Adhane yatana kari dhanate aginu Apana karama doshe, apani dubinu. He says, I am working very hard to become poor. Adhane yatana kari, dana teyaginu. I have worked very hard to give up my wealth. So here the wealth means Krishna consciousness. Poor means poor in devotion. So we are working hard, we are wasting time, energy in pursuing things which take us away from Krishna. And how do we do that? Satsanga chhadi koinu asate vilas, te karana lagi laye karma bandha fas. He says, look at my foolishness. I have worked so hard to go away from the association of devotees. Satsanga chhadi koinu. And what am I doing? Asate vilas. I am simply enjoying Netflix and Amazon Prime and IPL and Bollywood, not realizing that the sword of death is above my head. I'm not making the right choice. So therefore, it is important that we choose Krishna now, and constantly we are absorbed in sense gratification. We have to stop it. Vishaya vishama visha satata kainu, gaur kirtana rase magan na hoinu. We are simply absorbed in materialistic activities. For this pastime is supposed to shake us and make us realize that these Brahmanas, after realizing that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, they could not go to Krishna. So therefore, this is the biggest irony. So simply knowing Krishna as the Supreme Lord is not enough. Tomorrow, in fact, we are going to discuss in great detail what are the 3 levels at which we know Krishna. Simply knowledge of Krishna is not knowing. There is something more we need to know Krishna. So that we will discuss tomorrow. But today I wanted to make this point that simply knowing Krishna is not, the Lord is not enough, because these Brahmanas knew Krishna. What we need is to make the right choices. I want to share what my Guru Maharaj said. In 2009, we had a Pune Yatra. This was the last time we had this Pune Yatra where thousands of devotees came. And this last lecture is the most memorable class I have heard from my Guru Maharaj. He said, this is Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, he said, people think Krishna consciousness is wonderful, but I want to assure all of you that Krishna consciousness runs on 2 tracks. Excellent sadhana and the right choices. And then he explained it very beautifully. He said, devotees think if I have very good sadhana, I am safe. Maharaj said, no, you make excellent sadhana, you do, but when the tests come, you have to make the right choice. And then Maharaj said, some of you think I am making the right choices. Very good. But you cannot make right choices always unless you have good sadhana, good hearing and chanting. So both has to go on. It's not that automatically it will happen. Krishna will put us in that situation where we have to make the right choice. I remember one of our very dear devotees was dying. He was leaving his body because of cancer. His name was Toka Krishna Prabhu. And he was on the bed, about to leave his body, and we were all chanting for him. And that time His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was giving a Bhagavatam class just before he left his body. And Maharaj said, you may be leaving the body, but as you are leaving the body, on your 1 year, Krishna will be telling you, come with me, come to the spiritual world, I'm waiting for you, come. And on the other year, Maya Devi will tell you, stay back. Next life, you'll have a better chance to enjoy. I'm there for you, stay back. So Maharaj was saying, 1 year, Krishna will be telling you, come. The other year, Maya Devi will say, stay back. He was saying, even in that last moment, you have a choice. So we have a choice. So therefore, instead of becoming great pandits, great scholars, great ritualistic pujaris, we have to seek devotion. Better to be simple like these women who are attracted to Krishna. I'm sure you also know many people, many devotees, unknown to the world, how they left this world. Such amazing Krishna consciousness. They were not great scholars, gurus. They did not have millions of followers on Instagram. But when they left this world, they gave inspiration to so many people. So this is a chapter where we realize that if we choose Krishna, it may be a painful choice, that moment of choice. But if we choose Krishna, we will always be successful. And tomorrow we are going to dive deep into this topic of where did these Brahmanas miss? What? Because knowing Krishna is not simply studying scriptures. There are 3 levels of knowing Krishna, and we will complete the discussion tomorrow. At this point, I would like to pause, and if we have 5 minutes for questions. It's 9 o'clock. We'll take 5 minutes if there are any questions or comments. regarding what we discussed today. And so main point is, I know Krishna, but am I experiencing Krishna's love? That is the topic today we discussed. So we may know the Brahmanas knew Krishna, but they could not experience Krishna's love. So they are missing Krishna in some way. So tomorrow we'll complete the part 2. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So in all our rituals and everything, we should never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna. So, but in an organizational setup, there will be rules, regulations, scriptures, sadhana, swadhyaya, all those things. But if you say, no, these are not needed, then we are almost going to sahajiya.
I didn't say we don't need it.
No, I'm saying, if anybody thinks that, because they don't spend, okay, I'm interested in my sadhana, other things. So there is a danger of that also. But we should be qualified, right, through sadhana?
No. Seva, when I say sadhana, there are 3 things. Hearing, chanting and service. HSC. I always say 3 things are there. Hearing, service and chanting. All 3 are part of our connection with Krishna. Without service attitude, our chanting will have no substance. And we are chanting but not doing seva. And we are doing seva but we are not chanting Hare Krishna. Then that seva will become materialistic. There has to be both. There has to be balance. But ultimately we have to choose Krishna. In even that service, Vraja Prabhu says that Prabhupada said double it, book distribution, double it for Krishna. And he says many times we focus on double it. But we forget that double it is for Krishna we forget. See, even if we can't choose Krishna, there is still hope for us. I was hearing Prabhupada's lectures recently. You please get time, you hear this. This is December 1st week, 1974 in Bombay. Prabhupada is giving lectures on Ajamil section. And in one lecture, he explains very beautifully what is the goal and what is we can practically do. He says our goal is we want to capture Krishna. I mean, we can't capture Krishna, but he's saying very poetically, our goal is to capture Krishna by love. And he gives the example of Mother Yashoda. Then he says, okay, we cannot capture Krishna because we are not so qualified. Then he says, at least we can choose Krishna over Maya. And some of you may say, Prabhuji, but I cannot choose Krishna also because, I choose Maya. Then Prabhupada says, okay. See, we have chosen Maya, then you suffer. And after some time you become sober. Then what do? Prabhupada says, come back to Krishna. You can always come back to Krishna and say, Krishna, I'm sorry, I chose Maya, I should have chosen you. So what is the first? Ideal? Ideal? Ideal. Top. Capture Krishna by your love. You can't capture Krishna, then choose Krishna. If you can't choose Krishna, come back to Krishna. Then Prabhupada says, somebody may think, but Prabhupada, I cannot come back to Krishna. My mind is wandering all the time. Prabhupada dismisses it with a very funny example. He says, these women in India? He gives an example of Indian women. He says, they are so busy. They are working hard whole day. They are managing house. They are getting water. They are doing so much work. This is the answer to your question. Main example Prabhupada gives. He says, we have to do all this seva, all the work like these women are doing whole day. But look at these women. They are so busy. They are working so hard. But they ensure that their hair is in proper order. Then Prabhupada says, they will do lot of activity. They will be so busy. But they are particular to take care of the bunch of hair on their head. He gives very graphic example. He says, similarly, so devotees are busy working whole day. They are doing so much for Krishna. But that bunch, taking care of hair is compared to what? Remembering Krishna. Somehow we have to ensure that we take a break or pause or do something, remember Krishna. But if you can't just sit and say, I'll remember Krishna whole day, I will chant whole day, that will not happen. Forget institution running. That person, it is not good for that person also. Because that person, only when he has service mood, will he be able to experience Krishna's love. Otherwise, we may be sitting with the holy name, but mind will run everywhere. Manoratena satidhavato bahi. So it is very important for devotees to serve for their own benefit. But when we are serving, we get passionate. So therefore, Prabhupada says, take care of the bunch of hair. Means remember Krishna. Pause. Connect with Krishna. And then again, now, it's not that whole day this lady is taking care of the bunch of hair. She will do the needful and again do seva. Similarly, we remember Krishna, connect with Krishna, feel Krishna's love, back to seva. Then again, seva mein kya hota hai? Our hair gets scattered. Our remembrance of Krishna gets all haywire. Then again we pause. Krishna, I love you. This is for you. Krishna, I want to offer this to you. So this is very important, Prabhu. You know what we can do? This is a simple technique I'm suggesting. See if this works for you. I know devotees who do this. You know the small diaries come. I don't have it right now with me here. You know the small pocket diaries come. So I also carry it. And what we do is, you can keep this in your pocket or in your purse somewhere, and with a pen also. So let us say you are very busy for morning whole day. Then let's say around 10:30 you get some time. You just pause, take out your notebook, take out that small pen. Just write what you did since morning and offer it to Krishna. Like, okay, first, I chanted 8 rounds in temple hall today morning. Krishna, this is an offering to you. So make that offering to Krishna and write why it is an offering. Because in Kali Yuga you have come as holy name and I'm offering this yajna to you. You offered that. Then let us say after that you did some cooking or you did some management seva. Offer it to Krishna. So you will realize from morning 5 to 10 a.m. there are at least 3 or 4 things you have done which you could offer Krishna. So when you have done that small exercise, which will not take more than 3 minutes, Prabhus, in those 3 minutes you have remembered Krishna, you have connected with Krishna, you have offered your half day to Krishna. So your hair, bunch of hair which Prabhupada says, you have taken care. Then again 10 o'clock you start doing different seva, different phone calls, different things. And around 3 o'clock again take a break. Like we take break 3 times for Gayatri. So take break. That time you can remember Krishna, offer Krishna. Even if you can't choose Krishna, even if the mode of passion takes over because of the nature of your work, we can pause, we can come back. Prabhupada says if you can't capture Krishna, choose Krishna. If you can't choose Krishna, at least come back to Krishna. Come back. Because ultimately we have to experience Krishna. There is another lecture of Prabhupada, Vrindavan 1975, I think July or February, I think. So there Prabhupada says, so you see this mango? July hoga. February mein mango nahi tha, July. So Prabhupada says, you see this mango? So if somebody says, I see the mango, what is the use of seeing the mango? Prabhupada says, seeing mango means actually what? Tasting mango, experiencing mango. Then Prabhupada says, so devotees say, I want to see God. I want to know God. What is this seeing God? What is this knowing God? Seeing God, knowing God means you should taste God. Prabhupada says, we have chanting of holy name so that you taste God, so that you experience God. It is not simply, then Prabhupada says, mango, I see the mango, means actually experiencing the mango. Similarly, when we say, I see God in the altar, I know God, that actually means experiencing Krishna. So as sadhakas, we can practice this, spending some time every day, during the day, and offering what we are doing to Krishna. Krishna, this is for your satisfaction. Or thanking Krishna for allowing us to do that activity. Is that okay, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you. Huh? Surrender to Krishna is?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You mentioned that now we are hearing to Krishna but not surrender. Means we are doing the chanting, we are doing the seva, but we are not surrendering. So actually what's the meaning of surrender to Krishna?
Choosing Krishna, offering your emotions for Krishna, offering Krishna, this is for you. Prabhupada says in one lecture, what is prayer? What is surrender? Surrender means, Krishna, please accept me. If you can say this to Krishna. See, but that's the whole class was this, Mataji. It's not about rituals. It's not about ticking boxes. I have done chanting. I have done hearing. I have done this. I have done cooking. But where is your heart? Have you offered your heart to Krishna? There is one very, very famous, very beautiful lecture of Prabhupada. I want all of you to hear this. July 5, 1971. This is there on YouTube. Just learn to love Krishna. It's a 15-minute lecture. How many minutes? Yes, 15 minutes. But in that YouTube, it will come 30 minutes because they have clubbed 2 lectures in that. The first lecture there is Just Learn to Love Krishna. July 5, 1971, Los Angeles. In that lecture, Prabhupada says this famous story of, the story of South Indian Brahmin who was trying to read Bhagavad Gita. He was illiterate. You know that story? Yeah, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are a great scholar because you know the... So then that, I'm using the exact words Prabhupada says. I must have heard it, I don't know how many times, 50 times I must have heard it. It's a very sweet lecture. Prabhupada says, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh, but you are crying reading the Bhagavad Gita. That Brahman, Prabhupada saying, the Brahman said, I am not crying, I am feeling. I think we are disturbing the children. So Prabhupada says, so I'm not paraphrasing, I'm saying the exact words. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you actually know the Bhagavad Gita because you are crying. So the Brahmana said, I'm not crying, I'm feeling. Mahaprabhu said, what is that? Feeling. The Brahmana said, oh Lord, when I see that my Lord Krishna has become driver of his devotee Arjuna, I am thinking, Krishna is so nice. Krishna is so kind. I feel Krishna is so nice. In that 15-minute class, at least 7 to 8 times Prabhupada says this sentence. Krishna is so nice. Krishna is so kind. This is Krishna consciousness. What is spiritual life? Prabhupada says, spiritual life means to feel. Krishna is so nice. Krishna is so kind. Basically, ultimately, it comes to offering our emotions, offering our feelings. That is surrender. Externally taking initiation is not complete surrender. So, in that class, at least 7-8 times Prabhupada says, so I repeated this class as it is in London, in last yatra when I went last time. So I said, Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna. So Krishna is so nice. So one 9-year-old girl, she said, Prabhuji, Krishna is driving Arjuna's chariot. It's very nice. But I'm not feeling Krishna is so nice. Krishna is so kind because he's not driving my chariot. Like he's driving Arjuna's chariot. So then I told her, have you ever been... I asked her, but I looked at the audience. I said, has anyone of you ever been on a road or a plane or a car, anywhere, where you had a close shave and you almost missed an accident? Have it ever happened with you? Everybody raised their hand. At some point of time, it has happened with us, right? You take the car, suddenly one moment you escape. So I said, who was driving that chariot of your of your life at that time? Who was driving that chariot? Krishna was driving. Krishna is so nice. Krishna is so kind. So if we can somehow connect to that feeling by remembering Krishna's intervention in our in our life, then we can add emotions. We have to somehow add emotions in our bhakti.